Hi, I'm Dr. Ellen, the Midlife Whisperer, and I hear you and I've got you. Think of me as the one-stop shop for all your midlife needs. I'm a psychologist, registered dietitian, nutritionist, board-certified health and wellness coach, and mindful self-compassion teacher. I'm also an author and podcast host with over 30 years of experience empowering midlife women. Hey everybody, Dr. Ellen here, the Midlife Whisperer. I hope you are having a great day and your day is about to get better because we're going to share the secrets to feeling amazing at midlife and beyond, really how to deal with everything from hot flashes, weight gain, all of the things that, you have to deal with as a midlife woman. Because you are what you eat. I know it's a bit of a cliche, but we all know that. And your food is truly your best medicine. And on today's show, we're going to clear up all that diet confusion. I know it's under my skin. I have been a registered dietitian for 30 years. And I hate when I'm like clicking through Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all the places, right? It's like the greatest new diet, lose weight fast. This is a miracle solution we've been looking for. And I'm here to tell you there is one diet that does it all. It's like the little black dress of diets. We all love our little black dresses, right? Don't you love that dress that fits you right? But there's a diet, really. It's the way people have been eating for a really long time. It is a whole food, plant-based diet. It is the diet that does it all. It will help you with weight gain. It will help you get through menopause, things like dealing with hot flashes. It helps to reduce your risk of heart disease, of Alzheimer's, of cancers. It really helps to keep inflammation under control. Plus, it tastes great. It's fun to eat that way, and it's great for the planet. Eating more plant-based foods, eating less animal products, less processed food is great for you and the planet because animal products take a lot of resources to grow, whereas plants take a lot less. So if we were all to moving forward towards more plant-based eating, we could really end starvation. We could help with environmental issues. And of course, just create more peace on the planet for ourselves and animals. And today I'm going to be talking with Peter Goldstein. He is founder of Wedidit.health. That's Wedidit.health. It's a great website. You want to check it out. Lots of amazing resources. We're going to be talking about why vegan and plant-based eating can totally transform your health and well-being. Plus, I'll share it can help you how it'll help you deal with menopause symptoms like hot flashes and weight gain. And clear up some of this confusion. So if you're confused, I'm here to say, get rid of all those diet books, delete those crazy apps. There's no need to go on a diet at all. Diets really don't work. I'm talking about the calorie controlled, where you eat very specific foods, those diets that make you crazy, make you feel like I'm going to eat my cat because I've got hangry right now. I'm angry, I'm hungry, I'm miserable. The research really shows that when you diet, what happens is stress goes up and actually cortisol levels, the hormone of fight and flight actually increase. That increases your appetite. It increases fat deposition around the middle and just makes you feel crappy. And so the thing you want to do is just forget about the cockamamie diets. You want to start eating more plants, having more vegetarian meals, using things like beans and tofu and tempeh instead of your animal products, trying to have 1 or 2 servings at least of fruits and vegetables with every meal and snack. It's actually really easy. I mean, what I do is I start my day with a really great smoothie with frozen blueberries, and we actually have frozen kale from our garden. We juiced all our kale last year. We've got a huge garden because my man Ken is a master gardener. So I do that with a little bit of soy protein and maybe a little bit of spinach as well. I love peanut butter. I am like addicted to peanut butter. So I'll have a little bit of peanut butter on a tortilla. That's breakfast. Lunch is usually just like a big old salad. And everyone's like, oh my God, salad takes so long to prepare. No, it doesn't. You open up a box of prepared greens, throw in some beans or again, some tofu, some tempeh. And that's kind of lunch for me. And then dinner, I might make a stir fry, make a soup. I've been really inspired by my time in Costa Rica, making some great black bean soups. I do a lot of beans and grains and a lot of batch cooking. So it's really not hard to do it all when you get in the swing of it. And the thing is, you feel so much better And it's not just me saying this, there are just reams of research, particularly around menopause, that show that eating this way can really help you with so many of these symptoms. Certainly, the weight gain is an issue for most of women at midlife. If you are experiencing weight gain, what happens is when you go to a whole food plant-based diet, first of all, it's so full of fiber. Fiber fills you up. It keeps your blood sugar level under control. It takes a while to be absorbed in your system. So you're full. Like it takes me, like a good 20 minutes to go through a salad and I'm totally stuffed and satisfied. Also, if you add in what's called phytoestrogens, these are specific foods, particularly soy. They are similar to estrogen in your body. So when you're going through menopause, your estrogen levels are going down, which is causing some of the havoc in your body. When you eat these foods, soy-based foods, things like tempeh and tofu and edamame, what happens is it helps with your hormone balance. So you feel better. In Japan, they don't even have a word for hot flashes because they don't experience them. And they're also displacing all of the processed food, the junk. So, and you don't have to do it overnight. A lot of people I work with do it gradually, and we're going to give you lots and lots of tips today and hopefully inspire you to go plant-based. So let me introduce Peter Goldstein. He is here to change lives and change the planet. We were talking earlier about making Vermont, where I live, the first vegan state, which I think is like really super cool. He is a lifelong advocate of personal power and conscious practices. He is a leader in education and support for those adopting a vegan and whole food plant-based lifestyle. Peter's passion and mission is providing the tools to ignite curiosity about the benefits of consuming a whole foods plant-based diet. And he's the creator of Wedidit.health. And he's building a global platform of learning and community support, partnering with other vegan and plant-based organizations and key figures to amplify the voices of all of us who are working to improve human health, help animals, and heal the planet. And he's been animal product free, I think, down to his shoes, but we'll get into that, since 2006. And since 2013, he's been a leader in providing education and support for people starting a plant-based lifestyle through his organizations, Hippocrates Table, Hippocrates Docs, which I was actually part of one of their summits, Masterminds for Wellness. And so welcome to Rock Your Midlife, Peter. It's so awesome to have you here.
Well, thank you so much, Ellen. It's wonderful being here, and I'm sure you're a leader with menopause and midlife, and however that's I guess I must be eating right because I did not experience menopause.
Yeah, I don't know why they call it menopause. I don't know. We kind of need to call it like female-opause or something.
Female-opause.
Yeah, it is. It is really true. It's amazing because it hits women and they feel so out of control. And we vote with in the supermarket when we can take control of our health by what's on our plate. So it's wonderful to dive into this. So I'm curious, before we talk about your organization and the wonderful things you're doing, what set you on this path? Like, what was that moment that you decided, like, I am done with eating animals and wearing animals, and I want to, go the plant-based route?
It's really kind of fascinating to me anyways, but it all started when I did a weekend experience with Tony Robbins. And it's through the weekend, at the end of the weekend, Tony gave us a 10-day challenge: no alcohol, no tobacco, and being vegan for 10 days. And frankly, I don't drink, and I certainly don't smoke cigarettes. And so I took from that being vegetarian. So the first night somebody offered me chicken for dinner and I turned it down and I never looked back. And it was maybe one of the easiest things I've ever done. And perhaps now looking back at it, maybe it's because I've just been through a weekend of empowerment and with Tony, but it really was just easy. I just turned it down once and I never missed it, and I've never looked back. And so I started with that. Then perhaps about 7 years ago, I was doing work. I wanted to promote wellness. I retired from a technology business. I wanted to promote wellness as my passion, and coming out of retirement to do my passion work. And so in the process, I ran into a doctor who was whole food plant-based, and I saw him actually prescribe a 28-day whole food plant-based diet. And he found a chef who would prepare meals for his patients. And everybody got healthier. And I go like, wow, this is what we should all be doing. And so then I went whole food plant-based, and so I did it for health reasons, and did work in that area. And then the big thing that hit me several years ago throughout this process is how people in my life, my friends, my loved ones, so many people in my life would be unhealthy, would be obese, overweight, diabetic, heart disease, all those things. And yet I couldn't communicate with them. I had so much trouble getting them curious. So then I thought, well, this is really what we need, because the fact is that National Health Association, they've been advocating for a plant-based lifestyle for 75 years now. So after 75 years, and the vegan movement's been around, for animal compassion's been around for even longer. And so how is it that only a couple percent of the world is plant-based when it benefits everybody so much? So at that point, I turned my focus towards advocating for a plant-based lifestyle. So initially it was with human health, and then as I got into Wedidit.health, I got exposed to what's really going on with animals, and the pain and suffering and the cruelty. And so that's really been my journey. And now my passion is let's create a healthy, happy, well-fed vegan world. It's the solution for everything.
Yeah, it really is a solution for so many things. I love that you learned that from Tony Robbins. Is he a vegan? I didn't know that about Tony Robbins.
Well, I think he may be. He actually, what I found is that in his very early work, he was actually promoting health, a plant-based health program, and everything evolved for him from that.
That's
So
fascinating. I didn't realize that. And I love that you turned on a dime and it was easy. It was kind of like, why have I not been doing this my whole life?
yeah, it was just the easiest thing, and I went vegetarian, and then of course I learned about animal compassion, and then I learned about the rest of it, the cheese and milk and eggs. I mean, um, as per Dr. Barnard in the cheese trap, the unhealthiest food in the world is cheese. And because of all the fat, and he actually, in his book, he goes on noticing that obesity in the United States really expanded hugely when pizza got popular.
Really? That's interesting.
Yes, so he was noticing that cheese with pizza is a huge cause of obesity.
Yeah, it really is amazing when you start to look at the research and you see, how much people are eating and how they can be empowered by changing their diet. And I love to we talk so much here on Rock Your Midlife about finding your passion. And, I always talk to women, if you're listening, thinking, oh my gosh, what is it that I love to do? What are you either excited about, or what's the big problem that you see in the world? And you're both things. You're excited because you see that there is a way to change the world and you want to be part of that movement, and also just seeing the issues and problems that could be solved by this one thing. So it's really cool to see you as an example of a midlifer who is rocking it by following your passion. So let's talk about some of the major benefits. I know on your website, Wedidit.health, you talk a lot about the benefits. Can you share a little bit about what's on your website, about the major areas, what people can expect? And again, we're saying you don't need to go 100% vegan. You don't need to do what Peter did and totally transform overnight, which you can, of course, but you can also have a gradual approach. But what are the advantages of going in that direction? What does it do for your body?
Well, certainly, as Dr. Greger wrote in his book, How Not to Die, I mean, and everybody else, Dr. Ornish and Esselstyn, and everybody have shown that the top 15 killers in the United States and maybe globally is health related, and all of them can be reversed and prevented with diet and with a whole food plant-based diet. So people who are way very ill. I mean, Dr. Esselstyn, he's a leader in cardiovascular health, and he's taken people whose cardiologists have given up on them and put them on a very strict whole food plant-based diet. And instead of dying in 6 months, they're thriving 20, 30 years later. Just so it's everything from aches and pains to cardiovascular disease and everything in between, about cancer, about all of it. Yeah, so that in my mission to inspire and figure out how to inspire people, we created a scoreboard. So the scoreboard, you can find that with Wedidit.health, and then click on scoreboard, or you can go directly to scoreboard.wedidit.health. And there we have a simple one question survey asking people who've changed lifestyle to just check off all the ways their health is benefiting. And then on the bottom of that page, you can see a scoreboard that shows we have over 3,000 people who have chimed in so far, and all the people that have reversed cardiovascular disease and diabetes and high cholesterol and skin condition and gut. And so we have about 10, well, more than 10, maybe about 15 different items we ask people about, and it shows how people have benefited. And then with that data, we extrapolate from that the benefits to the environment. And so we're showing the numbers of gallons of water 3,000 people are saving daily, and the deforestation and animal lives that we're saving. And it's incredible. So it's if you're plant-based, please check it out. And we like to have everybody chime in, because our goal, our mission is, we're calling it the Million Healthy Lives Survey Scoreboard. And the vision, the dream is that when we get to 1 million, we're going to run that ticker across a huge billboard in Times Square. Let's really show the world the way a lifestyle change benefits our health, benefits animal justice, the climate, and world hunger.
Yeah, and if you're struggling with mental issues, which I think a lot of women at midlife are, if you are struggling with depression, anxiety, it can really help that. Actually, 1 in 8 women, 13% of midlife women, have depression. They have the highest level of any group for age and gender. And what happens is that stuff that's coming out of the microbiome is amazing. We're finding that your microbiome, which are basically your gut, the microorganisms that live in your gut and on the surface of your skin, but mainly in your gut. When you eat this way, when you eat more plants, you are taking in what's called prebiotics. You're taking in fiber and things that your microorganisms like to eat, and your microbiome gets healthier, and they're finding that your mental health actually improves. And I think that's a huge one. Conversely, if you're eating a lot of processed foods, animal foods, sugars, what's happening is the opposite. You're creating dysbiosis. You're creating microorganisms that aren't good for you, that aren't good for your mental health. I mean, when they take fecal matter from a depressed mouse and they put it in a regular mouse, the regular mouse gets depressed. So the research around this is absolutely amazing. So I'm so appreciative of your organization. And I love this. Talk a little bit about inspiring people to do this, getting people to be curious. So people are listening, and maybe you're listening and you're thinking, this all sounds great, but I am just not ready to give up cheeseburgers and pizza completely. And I really want to wear my leather shoes. Where do people start? How do we inspire people to get curious and start, Peter?
And that's the $60 million question, and really, in a sense, our work is to uncover more of the answers, because clearly, to have the outcomes we have now, we haven't really figured out how to do that. If we knew how to do that, we wouldn't just have a couple % of the world embracing what I call an absolute truth. I mean, it's an absolute truth. You drop a ball, it falls to the ground. You change diet to a whole food plant-based lifestyle, you'll get healthier. I mean, I don't think there's not anybody who hasn't, and I can't imagine that. I mean, people will at the very least lose weight, stop the aches and pains, have more energy. I mean, all of that. So, but that's the big question. That's what we're about, is we want to figure that out. So our mission, our work, is to bring together experts from other disciplines. So we're bringing psychologists to the table, leadership coaches, people like that, so that we can start looking at the psychology, the sociology, the beliefs, how do we do this? Because so far there's some people who've done it pretty well wrong. And when you see people saying, oh, you're an angry vegan and stay away from me, and I don't want to hear about it. So clearly there's been people doing it wrong. And so we need to figure out how to listen and how to plant seeds, how to have the most appropriate seeds to plant at the right time. So it's all in process. We're all just figuring it out, and we have some answers. So psychologists, so our free gift for people who answer the one question survey is an ebook that's written by Dr. Angela Crawford, psychologist, as 7 best practices for inspiring friends and loved ones to be plant-based. And so 7 very basic practices. So listen and meet people where they are, and don't be argumentative, and just those fundamental things. So there's a combination of us practicing the things that we already know. We know that we should be listening. We know that we shouldn't be pushy. We kind of know those things, but getting better at practicing those kinds of things to learn for the right opportunity. So, for example, if I'm sitting with somebody who says, what's this I hear about climate change? Right? I can then approach that conversation in a friendly, inviting way, and perhaps present them some of the information, but look for their curiosity. So be listening, be attentive. So that's, and then there's different personality types. So learn how to talk in different ways with different people. So that's our mission. Our mission, we don't really have the answers. We have some answers, we have some practices, but part of our work is to really figure this out. And so we're bringing together the other experts.
Yeah, I think part of it too, if you're listening, is just like what Peter did, is just go a week or even a day and notice how you feel. And I think if people feel better in my coaching practice, I'm so much about doing it because you love yourself, not doing it because, you're beating yourself up. You're feeling like someday when I have the perfect body, when I lose the weight, then I'll love myself. But like, do it because you love yourself. Do it because you figure out what are my core values. Do it if family is important to you. Do it because you feel like, I want the planet to be nice for my grandkids and my great grandkids, even when I'm not here anymore. I want to have an impact. I want to be able to make a difference in the world. And I think it's super important. And I think even here in Vermont, we have culinary medicine. So I think teaching people how to cook and seeing that, for me, eating vegan is so simple. I simply take, like I was saying, you can buy all your produce mostly already washed and cut up. I go to Costco, I buy a big bag of frozen Asian vegetables. I was there yesterday and I was delighted that they had their 4-pack of tofu, and I'll make a stir fry, or, I'll take out my Instapot and I'll take a bunch of black beans and I'll, saute up some carrots and some onions with some cumin, and I'll, put the black beans that I've soaked and cooked in there. And I just make this delicious soup. So it can be super easy and convenient. I think if we help people to see how good they feel, to let them see the impact that they're having on the environment, and then also to make the cooking part fun and easy, and maybe even, set up things like challenges. I think that would help people move in the right direction.
Absolutely. So that, that's part of our work. So as I'm out going through my life, depending on who I meet. So if I run into a woman in midlife and she's struggling with some things, I would want to refer her to your work. If I'm out at the gym and I see some guy who's a bodybuilder, I probably want to show him other resources. So meeting people with where they are is a big part of our community, and that's why we're building a community that's focused around what we're calling passion pods. So that we get a leader in a specific topic, like for you being midlife and women, and so that we get in a pod, so we curate the resources, we have the conversations within that pod, and then the whole community can chime in. So anybody else in the community, they have an opportunity to inspire a woman in midlife, they would know where to get the resources and where to make referrals. So that's part of our work then, is to build the community. So we're curating resources. So curating resources is one of our three pillars. And so we want to be in a situation where the ambassadors, the consumers who are vegan and plant-based, we can refer to the right information, refer to the right resources, so we can help people, wherever they are, whatever it is that they need, we can get them intrigued and then be able to show them the information that's most appropriate.
Yeah, that's great to have people in their own communities with, because a bodybuilder's needs, I was a personal fitness trainer a long time ago. Bodybuilder vegan need is very different, and they have very different goals than, for example, a midlife woman who is looking more to, deal with menopausal symptoms and maybe lose weight, whereas your bodybuilder is looking to build weight. And here to say that you can be a vegan bodybuilder, that men actually, and women can put on muscle mass, you can support your lifestyle. You don't need to eat animal products to be healthy. So you mentioned your Thrive and Inspire community, your passion pods. What's a plant-based proactivist?
A plant-based proactivist who then goes, we go through our day looking for the cracks to plant seeds. So we may, if we go to a restaurant, we may have information available for a restaurant. If the manager's interested in having more vegan meals, then we'd be able to share some information with that. So a proactivist is somebody who's ready to take some action. So it amazed me recently. I learned that only 1% of vegans are activists. So we don't. So it doesn't appeal to most people to get out and demonstrate and be activists, but we can all be proactivists. So we all have the passion. And I think what's happened is most of us have gotten intimidated and backed off, and we've just had too much pushback from people. So our mission then is to help us, the ambassadors, become more confident, have the tools, have the resources, have the confidence, have the conversation skills, so we can proactively communicate with anybody we run across through our day. And if we have an opportunity to stop in at a daycare center, show them information about veganism and families and children, or if we're at the gym or wherever our day takes us, the doctor's office, be proactive at the doctor's office, leave some information about a plant-based diet, and then have the pod, have the resources curated so that some expert in medicine and whole food plant-based nutrition said, well, here's probably the best thing to leave at a doctor's office where they're not plant-based. And so I can be out and about through my day, and wherever it's appropriate, I can drop a seed.
Yeah, I love that it's about seed planting and about supporting people, as opposed to what you say, like angry vegans. And we think about like PETA sometimes, and some rights movements are sometimes more aggressive, and I think that can sometimes do more harm than good. But you're taking a very much educational, feeding people's curiosity and that type of thing. So I'm curious, can you take us through your vegan day? What does a day in Peter Goldstein's life look like in terms of eating?
In terms of eating, well, generally I start with oatmeal, and sometimes I'll add black beans for some more protein with my fiber.
Oatmeal and black beans. That's interesting. I've never come
I
across
love
that,
it.
but
I
I'll have
love
to try it.
oatmeals and black beans, and
That's a good way to get more protein, though.
exactly. So then it depends. Sauteed vegetables and greens and rice, so variable meals like that. So it really varies. I honestly depend on other people to cook most of it. I'm not cooking, so it just varies. I love pasta. That's probably my favorite food group, to be honest, is pasta. Although you have to be very careful, because the traditional pastas are are not whole wheat, are not plant-based, and not, I mean, now we have such wonderful pastas that are gluten-free, that are made from plants actually, and I love those with some spicy sauce.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of the bean pastas because
Bean
I'm
pasta.
gluten-free and I've gone grain-free as well, for a variety of reasons, but it helps me to keep the inflammation down. And those bean pastas are incredible because then you don't have to worry about protein. So it's serving as just kind of your carbohydrate and your protein. They're packed with fiber. They're inexpensive. They're convenient. They have them at Costco now. I think it's Benito. I think it's a chickpea pasta, and they taste really good as well. So that's one of
Mhm.
my absolute go-tos. It's great that you have people cooking. I think it's also amazing that, I was just in Costa Rica, and I do a little bit of traveling, more so now that we're post-COVID. And you can find vegan, vegetarian everywhere now. You can get apps, so it can be really convenient that you could just look up where you are. Even if I was counseling somebody the other day, and they're like, "Oh my God, I'm going to Disney. What am I going to do?" And we took a look, and every single Disney place, even, when you're flying on an airplane, everybody's respectful and has vegetarian and vegan options.
Yes, yes, that's really wonderful. It's everything's expanding, and I love it. It's moving forward to being more plant-based, and with that said, unfortunately, sometimes it's over processed, and sometimes it has too much oil. But yes, at least for me, I celebrate it mostly because it involves a shift in thinking. So shifting away from meat, even if it's even if it's highly processed, at least it's a new thought process. So I think part of everything is how deeply we're set into our thinking and our beliefs, and so breaking down, socially breaking down thinking and beliefs, and looking for alternatives. I think that's a really important first step.
Challenging though, challenging, especially in, as sort of this other countries feel like eating meat is like a advanced thing and the right thing to be doing. So it's hard to break those ways, but the work that you're doing is super powerful. So if people want to learn more about what you're doing, want to get involved, or they're kind of vegan curious, where should they go to connect with you?
Well, our website, Wedidit.health, is fine, is a great place to start. From our website, you can find we have a certification program for where we train people about communication skills. So it's can find that from our website. But Wedidit.health is the place to start, and certainly we're looking for everybody to chime in on the scoreboard. Let's get to Times Square and show the world, the power of a plant-based diet. And I'm happy for people to reach out to me via email, and that would be Peter G, my first name and last initial, at Wedidit.health. Would love to hear from everybody there, and hope to see you. We're getting ready to launch our Thrive and Inspire community. We've been doing some activities, but we'll be in the near future launching a technology platform for it, with the Passion Pods. So would love to have everybody be members, and really hope to see you there too, Ellen. And maybe we can have a Passion Pod around your work and midlife for women. And you have so much amazing information, and you're such a wonderful coach. It would be such an honor to have you be part of our community. So hope we can see you there too. And everybody else, please join our community.
Yes, do. If you're listening, go to wedidit.health. That's wedidit.health. And you don't have to be a vegan. You can be anywhere on the spectrum. We're all here to support you on your journey. And there really is no downside to it at all. I'm here to say that it is the one diet that does it all. So if you're looking to like, God, I can't figure it out, Dr. Ellen, what do I do? What do I eat? The vegan diet is really the way to go. And it's not a diet, it's a lifestyle. It's a way of being, and you can do it gradually. I mean, I often tell people just to start to think about meat more as a condiment. Like if you're having some animal food, it could be a little bit of flavoring, like what they do like in Asia, for example, they'll have a little bit of animal protein, but it's not the focal point. Make plants the focal point. Fill your plate up with plant foods, lots of greens. We're getting into spring here in the Northern Hemisphere. It's a really, really awesome time to do it. And so if you have any questions, you want to get in touch with me, just go to themidlifewhisperer.com. That's themidlifewhisperer.com. You can contact. I would love to support you on your journey. I have a new community as well, which is all women who are rocking their midlife, and would love to share that with you. And if you're interested again in connecting with Peter and his organization, it's Wedidit.health. That's Wedidit.health. Check it out. You have a power to improve your health and also to improve the health and well-being of the planet. Peter, thank you so much for being here. It's been a joy.
Thank you, Dr. Ellen. It's my pleasure. I'm honored. Thank you.
And thank
Bye,
you,
everybody.
We'll see you next week here on Rock Your Midlife. Have a great rest of your week. Midlife can be challenging. You may be sandwiched between growing kids and aging parents, dealing with menopause or a health issue, and trying to find work-life balance. Or maybe your life looks good on the outside, but inside you're feeling stuck and wondering how to get your confidence, energy, and joy back. Hi, I'm Dr. Ellen, the Midlife Whisperer, and I hear you and I've got you. Think of me as the one-stop shop for all your midlife needs. I'm a psychologist, registered dietitian, nutritionist, board-certified health and wellness coach, and mindful self-compassion teacher. I'm also an author and podcast host with over 30 years of experience empowering midlife women. I provide inspiration and wisdom to help you transform your health, your mindset, your relationships, and your life so you can rock midlife.